Hey everybody, my name is Elaine Chandris and I'm going to be reviewing some books for you. Today I'm going to be going over a book called City of Broken Magic. It was published last year in November and it was written by Mirah Bolender. If you are not a person who likes spoilers, then I would suggest coming back to this video at a later date if you intend on reading this book, because this contains spoilers. To be honest, when I first passed this book in the bookstore, Barnes & Noble, doesn't really matter, I was kind of not too excited by it. The cover is a little bland. It's, very dark. Obviously, there's a street here. And you just see this amulet on the bottom, and there's some nasty looking ooze coming out of it, and also this white smoke. The title is it's not hard to read, but it doesn't really pop. It would have been a lot better if it was like a stark white. It really would have grabbed my attention, whereas this doesn't really do anything. With that being said, the yellow text, or this golden color, is really what grabs my attention, especially this phrase on the bottom. It's magic. Which wire do you cut? That's actually what really got me excited in the book, because obviously, or at least to me, it felt like it was obvious that it was a reference to a magical bomb squad, which sounds awesome. Who doesn't want to read about a magical bomb squad? But then you kind of remember, wait, there's a back cover. There's more information. So you go to the back cover, or I went to the back cover. I don't know why I'm speaking in second person. Anyway, and it says, 500 years ago, Magi created a weapon they couldn't control. An infestation that ate magic and anything else it came into contact with. Enemies and allies were equally filling. Only an elite team of non-magical humans, known as sweepers, can diffuse and dispose of infestations before they spread. Most die before they finish training. Laura, a new team member, has stayed alive longer than most. Now she's the last, and only sweeper standing between the city and a massive infestation. Seems a little generic, but alright, I'll give it a try. So I brought it home and started reading, and pretty quickly I realized that everything that was advertised is a lie. Like I said previously, I was really caught by the tagline on the front page. If it's magic, which wire do you cut? I felt like it was a very clear reference to a lot of movie cliches, which asked, which wire do I cut, the red one or the blue one? But this book has nothing to do with bombs. It has nothing to do with bomb squads, so that was a really disappointing lie, because I was really looking forward to that magical bomb squad. I can't even begin to relate how much I wanted to see this in a book. The second thing that's a lie is the information pertaining to Laura being the last sweeper. And the only thing that stands between the city of Amike, not really sure which one it is, and total destruction. And that's because Laura works on a team of sweepers. She is one of 3. Clay Sinclair is the head sweeper and basically her leader. She's apprenticed to him. And then later he takes on another apprentice named Okane, and they work as a group. Eventually Clay does die, so she's left alone with Okane. But that's another person, first of all. And then later, at the end of the book, when she is fighting a large infestation that's trying to destroy the city, she has Okane's help as well as other sweepers who come in to save the day. And it's really disappointing, because there's a part of you that really wants to see that train wreck, like she's an apprentice. She has some idea what she's doing, but she's obviously kind of overwhelmed in this situation, and that never happens. Which might sound a little messed up, but who doesn't love a good train wreck? It's like a guilty pleasure, I'm sorry. Second thing or rather the third thing that's an issue is the fact that the infestations aren't really diffused. They're obviously not bombs. They're that kind of like gooey stuff you saw on the cover, that slimy nastiness. And they're not diffused. They're taken care of with magical artifacts and concentrated magical forms. And, it was just false advertising that really let me down. I didn't appreciate that. Anyway, there were a lot of other issues with this book as well. Bolender's writing style isn't very strong. It's a little clunky. She has a lot of really long paragraphs that are hard to get to, or through rather. Um, it's not very pretty. There are a lot of grammatical errors, a lot of spelling issues, that kind of thing. Another thing that really bothered me is a lot of the important information about the story and the setting and the characters were relayed in conversation. Instead of being shown certain things, she just told us these things. For example, the city of Amike is basically like a giant layered cake with 6 tiers, and the richest people live on the top, and the poorest people live on the bottom. With the exception of the lowest layer, which is the sixth quarter. I don't know why they're called quarters, because there are more than 4 of them, but whatever. Anyway, the people in the sixth quarter are military, and they're there basically to protect people from outside threats. And instead of having Laura travel through these different sections of the city and describing the people and the setting with things like, the people here are wearing rags and they're really dirty and they look kind of emaciated and scrawny and they don't have food, which would obviously relay the fact that they're poor. She doesn't do that. She just tells the poor people live here and it's really nasty here. It's dirty and there's a lot of crime, which was kind of annoying. I didn't really like that. I rather would have figured things out for myself, but that might just be me. Another thing that was awkward, or not awkward, but another thing that I didn't like was the fact that a lot of the characters, actually all of the characters, were really one-dimensional and they didn't really grow throughout the course of the story, especially Laura. Like, you see a protagonist and a main character progress. They're not typically static, but she was very, very static. She's supposed to be a strong female lead, kind of independent, someone who thinks for herself, doesn't just want to get married like everyone around her wants her to, wants to have a career and be seen as strong. In some ways she was, but the fact that she would announce that's basically what she was like kind of made it awkward and didn't really allow for growth, and it didn't really allow me to feel like she was actually that kind of person as much as if she had just acted like a strong, independent woman, if that makes any sense. Yeah. Clay, her boss and the person she's apprenticed to, was just obnoxious. There was really nothing there. He was a decent leader. He had a strong sense of duty, but he was not very good with people, and that was it. And Okane was kind of shy, and he was scared of the job and really didn't want to be a part of it, but was kind of forced into it, and that was it. It really let me down. They weren't good characters. They weren't people I felt like I could care about. I really wasn't upset when Clay died, which is kind of sad because he's one of the main characters, and it just didn't matter to me. It really, not a good book, not a good use of my time. Overall, I give it a 2 out of 5 stars, or yeah, just a 2 out of 5 stars. I'm not even gonna go higher than that. It really was not a good book. Thanks for listening. Bye.